Hello, everybody. It has been since at least September of last year since the last time I streamed, and I was looking at it and it looked like the GitHub 200 star special was the last one I did. So I am back, hopefully regularly, and this might be a chaotic stream. I've got the dog who is sleeping now, but fireworks are going to happen, or have been happening, and he loves to tell me that they're happening. And I've got to leave in about an hour because it's poker night tonight, but I wanted to update you guys on some life events in the game and let you know I'll be streaming hopefully semi-regularly, knock on wood. So game stuff first. Where I left off, I was looking at videos because it's been a while, but I don't believe I had networking in yet. I might have had eNet, but my goal at the time, still working in the same game, but my goal at the time was to try to get a vertical slice where I had really high fidelity visual mockups so I could start marketing via TikTok and just spreading some nice visuals around, and decided to do a hard pivot maybe November or December of last year, I don't remember, but I switched into functional prototype and I've been working on that ever since, and I'm doing pretty good. So, quick update for those that haven't been following. I am part of a one-person team that is now again a two-person team. My husband and I built a game engine in C++, back in like 2018, 2019 or so. We've been working on it ever since. Then he took a break, about a year ago, a little over a year ago. He took a break. I think he got burnt out and wanted to focus on music and his new shrimp hobby, which is wonderful. So then I started working on a game solo, and we don't do much engine dev anymore because the engine is actually working miraculously well, which is very, very cool. But I'm now building a game in C++, been working on it for about a year, and the idea of the game is it is trying to compress the CRPG classic 90s dungeon crawler fantasy game experience into a 30-minute deck builder, multiplayer deck builder. And I'm very, very excited about it. So, let's see. What I've been working on at a very high level was pivoting from, I don't even remember if I had networking in, it's been a while, but since my last video, but I was pivoting from networking or from eNet into, if I did have networking, into Steam integration. And that's been the journey I've been on for a while now, but my husband is a much better C++ programmer than I am, but he had left the project. And so then I dove headlong and figured out how to get using the Steam network messages API, how to get like lobby joining using the matchmaking service and all of the various APIs. I'm not going to list them all here, but I got being able to create a party in Steam, which is actually just a lobby under the hood, and then logging in or joining the party and then starting a game. But there were a lot of guardrails in place, and my implementation was a little bit weak, but it was functional. I just had to move forward with a bunch of limitations. But then, maybe a month or two ago, my husband decided that he's going to help me again, which is so cool. So he rewrote my whole networking architecture to be much, much more robust, still using Steam. And we've been working on that together for about a month or two. So now, let me see if I can give you a little bit more of a direct idea. So we have a high fidelity mock-up here that a lot of this was grabbed from Pinterest. Some of it is my art. This here is my game, actual game art that I've done, but a lot of this is like cobbled together because I haven't done the final visualization yet. But let's see. We have successfully gotten through creating a party and lobby. We've redone all of that in the new way, and now we are headlong toward a functional prototype. And today, specifically, what I'll be working on is, now that my husband's back on the team, I will be, I just updated this phase diagram to talk about the different phases of the game and what the handoffs are and what the synchronization points are for, because it's a multiplayer game. Did that this morning, and then today I'm going to try to lay out exactly what we need left of the functional prototype so I can make issues for it on GitHub. Because, so I work full-time and then he takes care of our 3.5-year-old full-time. So we have very little time where we actually are in the same room talking about the same things. So we have to communicate with detailed mock-ups or detailed issues and stories and etc. that we pass back and forth. So the goal for tonight is to codify everything we need for the functional prototype remaining, and then get that pushed up so that he can see that, and we can figure out who's going to work on what. And then once moving forward in the next week or two, I'm going to be working on plugging in, because we've redesigned quite a bit of the game, definitely since my last video, but it's still functionally the same. But I'm going to be working on getting this mock-up into the game, just at a very, it won't look like this. It will just be simple GUI buttons and such, but we're going straight prototype. So can we play it? Can you draw stones? Can you fight monsters? Can you level up, etc.? Then once we get the prototype in, and that will take more than a couple weeks, there's some card deserialization to do and some logic about like order of applying actions and how we're going to represent an action that still has to be figured out now. But I'm hoping to get done with the functional prototype in the next couple of months. Might be ambitious, we'll see. And then I'll move forward to just asset generation. So that's an update on the game. Now, life update, I think it's been about since maybe August or September of last year since my last stream. And I got braces, which is pretty excited. I have Invisalign on because I'm finally getting my jaw surgery here early next year. And I need to get a jaw surgery because my jaw is really recessed. You can't really tell right now, but it's super recessed. And it's been causing me sleep issues for a long time. So going to get a jaw surgery in early next year, which is very exciting. Let's see. The reason I stopped streaming was I was really enjoying it. I was actually getting a couple of viewers, which was very cool. Shout out Detwolf. You will be remembered. But then I don't remember if this happened right around when I stopped or shortly before, but I got much more responsibility at work, and then trying to manage that, and I've still been coding the entire time, but then being a mom of a 3.5-year-old, and the streaming part just was deprioritized because there's extra work setting it up and editing the title of the video and publishing and making sure the audio works, and I just didn't have time. But I have decided that A, it is something that I enjoy, but B, if I want to actually sell this product, which I do, I need a community, and I'd very much like to start cultivating that again. So here I am. Another really exciting thing, we are in November, my husband, brother, and son and I are all going to go to Japan. It'll be the first time for my husband and son, but fourth time for me, and then second time for my brother. Very, very excited about that trip. So I'll be talking a lot about that. I jumped around quite a bit in this stream, or so far, but lots to catch up on. So you guys can just follow along with me. I expect that most of the streams will be very jumping around a lot because that is what I generally do, and I unfortunately don't have the time to make something more linear and easy to follow. So until then, I would love it. Oops, sorry, 1 second. Hi, Function95. I just remembered that there's a YouTube chat component of this, so I just pulled it up. Welcome to the stream. But anyway, what I was saying was that there probably won't be like a linear beginning and end to any of my streams. I'll just have you guys follow along with what I'm doing. But yeah, for those that are new, I use AI every day at work, and I do not want any of it in my game because the part of coding that I enjoy and creation that I enjoy is the thinking it through, the doing it, and then the seeing the results. And I don't enjoy so much being more of a reviewer and an architect. I like getting in there and having complete control. So if you want to see what it takes to make a game or a game engine from absolute scratch, follow along. So my husband is much better at C++ than I am. He just really has a knack for it and dove into it really deep. But I do fine. I can get done what I need to get done most of the time. Screw up when I try to make a template half the time, but I generally can do what I need to do. So if you see really good code, it's probably his. If you see mediocre code that works and is unit tested, it's probably mine. But where I really feel excited is doing like the art side of the house. So I have the vision for the game. The game was my idea. Um, the 3D models, the assets, the appearance, the vibe, all of that is me, and the animations and such. But very, very excited to be back. All right, so my mission for today is actually to. How did I get out of my? Oh, I'm gonna log into my other Gmail account here. Hold on a minute. My mission for the day is to clean up my MR that I finalized that just has the phase diagram mock-up for going from phase to phase, and push that MR, and then write up all the remaining items we have for our functional prototype. And then I'll jump off around 8:50 here Central Time to play some poker. All right, Google Gods, please let me log in on my first try here. Thank you. Okay. I don't know why it's so hard to have YouTube signed in on one account and then on one Gmail account, then have another Gmail account for my tabs or for my favorites. Just let me enter my password. All right, we are in. So this is the engine, and it's very exciting. We haven't done much work on it since I think the last thing I did was maybe getting my tone mapping, my like LUT mapping feature in, because I needed that. I'm going to go with a different art style now, but that was months ago. But we're at 220 stars now, which is cool. But jumping into the game. I'm going to push this PR here. Okay. Now while that's running, hi function. Yeah, it was a really long time in the process. You're gonna make a 3D game engine in C in under a month? Good luck. Are you gonna vibe code it or are you gonna write it? I think, I mean, it all depends on what your goals are. You could certainly render like a cube with textures in OpenGL in under a month. That's doable for sure. What graphics API are you going to use? You know, I really don't want to wait for the checks on GitHub because all I did was update the README, but every time I've ever merged without waiting for the checks, something is broken, so I'm just going to wait for it. And in the meantime, I'm going to... Actually, maybe I'll just make this an issue. I don't think this needs to be checked in. Good for you. I'm not wholly anti-AI. I think AI is a tremendous tool. I just don't think... I think that it takes wherever you currently are and just helps you do that faster at the cost of maybe some awareness of what you're doing. But if you're trying to learn anything, God forbid you have AI do it for you. Do you know what graphics API are you going to choose, function? We've done ours. Maybe this is part of the reason why it's taken so long, but we did the first draft in DirectX 11. Then the second draft was Vulkan. And then the third draft, which is where we're at currently, is actually using something called Diligent Engine, which is like a, best explained as a low-level abstraction that can be applied to all of the popular graphics APIs. So you can run against Vulkan, Metal. I think Metal you have to pay for. DirectX 11 and 12, and then OpenGL. So that's what we're currently in, and it has its pros and cons. We're actually only targeting Vulkan anyway, so maybe if I do a fourth draft, which I eventually will, I'll go back to just writing my own in Vulkan. But there are some definitely some benefits to being able to switch to another graphics API with a small amount of work. Yeah, Vulkan. So good choice with starting with OpenGL for learning, because I started with Vulkan for learning and it took me a really long time even to get a triangle, like an unbearable amount of time. And then I got all the way through to like post-process passes and figured a bunch of stuff out, but I would not recommend that anybody start from scratch with graphics concepts with Vulkan, because I could have gone a lot faster if I just started with the fundamentals. And oh, I have a book for you, a book recommendation. This is the greatest book. It is called Real-Time Rendering. I have the 4th edition. And this is so good for just like, it starts with like, what is the graphics pipeline and what does each step of the graphics pipeline do and what did it do before? But I highly recommend that one. Oh, because it's not because it's easy, because it supports weaker computers. How old is your computer? Because I think Vulkan can, I think it definitely has older support, maybe 2014, 2015, and So it's just the driver support that you have to worry about, but you can write Vulkan in such a way that it's very lightweight. That's like the beauty of Vulkan or DirectX 12 is you can choose how you implement it. It's not necessarily heavier, but what you're probably talking about is the driver support. All right, new issue. Yeah, that has always so Function was saying that they have an RTX 5060, but they like to be accessible. That has always been a question that I've had, and I cannot get it resolved. If you go to, I'm sure you go here all the time, but GPU info, or is this right? People always say, well, just use the latest version of Vulkan. No, and use the latest Vulkan features. That doesn't make any sense at all, because if you look at, how do you get in here? Property features is what I was looking for. So like say we pull up Core 1.4 and we look at, oh, I want to use pipeline protected access, but only 48% of devices have coverage for this feature. And so back in the day, I just arbitrarily, I think we chose 93% coverage. So we'd only use features that were 93% coverage. And that really locked us down. So I'm not using any Vulkan 1.3 features. And I'm still only using Vulkan 1.2 features, but you can have, if you stick with Vulkan 1.2, generally there's very high coverage for like the basics here. Is that what you're thinking? Like, yeah, I'm gonna spend all my time writing an engine, but it's not gonna work on a laptop because I'm using some feature that isn't supported by the drivers. Yeah, that's true. What are you planning to do with it? Okay, so we need way to go. I am literally cooking up my dream game right now, and it's very, very fun. And the coolest thing about rolling your own engine is, yeah, sure, it may take you forever, or maybe not you. It sounds like you can make it pretty quick, but it may take you forever. But hey, you need a feature, just go at it. And if you have a bug, just go fix it. You're not on anyone's timeline, and you're not beholden to getting community upvotes on a feature than waiting a quarter or two for them to fix it. You can just go fix it yourself, and it's very, very nice. Okay, so we need formatting. Right, I'm going to run to the bathroom. I will be back shortly. This is the one. All right. You're making an operating system in Godot. I love it. I think the best projects are projects that are done for absolutely no reason. How is Godot? I've never played around with it, but I've heard a lot of good things about it. You know, the Markdown support in GitHub's issues is really wanting. Yeah, it seems really cool. Hmm. You discovered Godot in 2023 and we were going to make a game with it. And then spoiler alert, I gave up. The amount of game projects I've given up on, man. Not this one. So help me God, I'm not giving up on this game project. damn this numbering. Oh, lordy. I'm gonna write this in the proper markdown editor here. Look at that, they auto update. I wonder if my check's passed here. Almost. right, are you done? You are. So I'm not having my husband review this one because it's just a documentation change here. Branch has been deleted, closed. Then oh, you know what? I neglected to mention in the phase. Let me do that here now, actually. So one of the elements of the game, because I want it to be technically classified as a dungeon crawler, is you need grid-based navigation, typically, to be in that genre. And I really want to hit as many of the buttons as I can. So you will always have a fixed set list of enemies, but every turn you can choose whether you want to navigate to the left of the dungeon or navigate back to the right. And the path of the left is filled with much harder enemies that give much better loot, and the path on the right is filled with much easier enemies, so we will have to implement that here as in the functional prototype. Let's see, so after you kill one is when you want to go. All right. So that was my to-do list for tonight, and it got done right in time for poker. So I will be streaming again soon. I don't know if I'll ever have a consistent schedule, but getting into the prototype for the main flow probably as soon as tomorrow. I'm hoping to stream tomorrow, but we will see. Thanks all for watching, and it's very good to be back, and hope to see you